The problem I'm finding right now is that the clients that do need the installment agreements can't afford them.
Right. That's the other problem, especially for the high net worth ones. The IRS will allow more allowances than an offer. For example, they'll allow certain debt payments and certain credit card payments if you could prove they're absolutely essential for medical and other needs. But again, you got to prove it. You got to prove that not only that you're making the credit card payments, that it's absolutely essential for either your survival or your medical needs, or else they don't allow that.
That's a good statement. And then that's a thing that most people will say, well, I have to make these payments. Well, the IRS doesn't care that you have to make a credit card payment if it wasn't for essential use, as you stated earlier, if it's not for medical purposes, if it's not for living. And when you say essential, let's make sure that the audience understands what essential means. Essential would be the medical. Essential would be you use your credit card to pay your rent, your utilities, those kinds of things that are everyday living expenses, but you're putting them on a credit card because that's the only way you can survive.
Last week, that's the other problem, especially for the high net worth ones. The IRS will allow more allowances than an offer. For example, they'll allow certain debt payments and certain credit card payments if you could prove they're absolutely essential for medical and other needs. But again, you got to prove it. You got to prove that not only that you're making the credit card payments, that it's absolutely essential for either your survival or your medical needs, or else they don't allow that. Because I had a court hearing that I had to actually leave the office and drive to. So I was sitting there like really trying to push this IRS agent. I had to have this call. And I let them know that. But I'm finding these agreements are taking months. And you want to know why?
Because you have to start the process over every single time you call.
I think, or I know why the IRS is taking the time in accepting these. It's because they think of these high net worth installment agreements as mini offers. Because at the end of the day, whatever amount the taxpayer is going to be paying, $300, $500, $1,000, based on their debt over $100,000 plus, taxpayer may write out the statute of limitations.
So they're PPIs, they're partial pay installment agreements.
Yeah, partial pay installment agreements. But the IRS has this different unit. It's not the regular unit for collections. It's called special compliance. And I've been finding these really challenging. But the operative word is you got to be on top of this. The IRS will say, you got to call me within this deadline. You got to provide me this deadline with X, Y, and Z. You got to do that. If you don't do that, you know what happens? Levies, liens, all the fun stuff.